And hello, everyone, and welcome to another great MQO match tournament race. Today we'll have Cheese facing the Doja, and I'm your commentator, Bobby's, accompanied by the wonderful Apple today. Hello, Apple.
Good morning, or
Good.
well,
Yeah.
whatever it is to you people out there. It's good morning for me. Um, Definitely a great thing to wake up to here. Another Ori race. We had a great one yesterday. I'm sure this will be similarly good.
Well, actually, it's bound to be probably one of the most interesting matches of this first bracket. I say because it's going to be facing seed 8 to seed 9, so the closest seeds out of all this bracket. Where here the averages for the qualifiers were only 2 minutes apart, I believe. Less than 2 minutes, actually, like a minute and 20 seconds. So a really close matchup, honestly, with PBs also being super close on the leaderboard. So it's bound to be really nice.
Yeah, their tournament PB especially has been really, really close. I think there's 19 seconds between seed 9 being faster than seed 8. So Cheese is our seed 9, being with his tournament PB being faster than Dadoja, our seed 8, going into this. So this should be very exciting depending on how things turn out with certain skips and fights and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's probably going to be fairly close. Where of course there's a lot of tricks in this category, so there's probably going to be some small differences at times, and it's going to be nice to see all that. But today, at least, I believe we don't have any RTA strats versus loadless time strats. So we'll have two loadless timers, so it'll be a bit evened out, which will be nice to watch. Another thing that's also funny to mention is that Cheese has is a very old runner who didn't run for, I believe he said, 3 years, which is pretty amazing to come back for this tournament. And it's always nice to have him here. It's going to be great to see him play in this tournament.
Indeed, yeah, we should be getting started here momentarily. Little behind the scenes glitch there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, our runners should be starting within the next 20 seconds or so. And we'll see where this takes us, I guess. Something fun to note about both of our runners, they both do use controller. Dadoja is a completely controller player, and Cheese uses a hybrid, so controller and KVM for certain sections.
Ooh, and we're getting started. Perfect. So, usual start. We're just going to be still talking a bit now because there's not much happening at the start. Just grabbing some spirit light, getting down, just grabbing all of that. Everything's going to be fairly normal for both of the runners. I believe even throughout the race, it's going to be some normal routing. I'll have to check that real quick, but I think we'll have similar routings on both sides, so it'll be nice to watch with both using bow and probably both doing the wisps in the same order.
Let me check that. Their
Yeah,
patches are no, they are different. At least according to the information they gave us at the start of the tournament, that might have changed. People do adjust their runs when they learn new things. But yeah, we have Cheese on patch 2, and he will start with Bauer, go to Mora, and then do Quallock. And Dadoja is running on current patch, and will start with Quallock, and then go to Bauer, and then do Mora. So a little difference there, but it's very hard to really compare routes or the runners themselves during. Oh no, Dadoja taking a fall.
Unfortunate. That was really nice. They were both sync while doing that torch and then Dadoja accidentally jumped out instead of trying to jump back in. Cheese on his side trying to get that keystone jump. It's a bit hard. He's really not far. He's about to get it. He's doing it without the torch swing back to the left, which is a variant that some people prefer. You see Dadoja just got it on the right side. So taking back the lead on the right, as Cheese just got his. Actually, a pretty wide lead if you look at the timers, due to Dadoja having to QTM outs to come back from that mistake earlier. But here we're following both of them, going back to the Keystone door as Cheese already grabbed his Spirit Light earlier, and Dadoja is doing it now.
And that evens out the timers a little bit. We will be looking at the timers quite a bit because as we are doing loadless times and different hardware does give you different loads, the timers will desync. We will try to sync them up, especially during the early game where the routes are still very comparable. Later, we might not be doing that too much. That depends. But yeah, we will try and keep you up to date on who is actually in the lead, despite appearances maybe being a little bit different.
And starting the first mini boss of sorts, Hal just running away. The first, I guess you could call this an escape, but it's very short-lived. Just running away from Hal.
Hold right, press jump.
Don't get hit, and Cheese will be fighting his way through Hal. I think we're having a balancing of times here, as Dadoja is doing the same on his side, getting through there. I think there's a little strat you can do where you get hit by Hal and it actually pushes you further forward. But here, just the easy strat is just to run right and then start hitting Hal as much as you can with Torch, absolutely spamming the upper attack, and here doing it very correctly. We'll see Cheese trying to do the same thing on his side, getting some good hits in there too, getting pushed back a bit, but it should be good. Very nicely done. Both of them succeeding with their howls. Good job.
Yeah. And despite our efforts, timers have desynced again because of loads, unfortunately. We will be seeing this quite a lot. Not much we can do about it. But yeah, in the meantime, our runners will be heading to get to their sword tree as we can't get any more fancy torches. So we're going for a lightsaber instead.
Lightsaber is a nice way to call it. But yeah, we have to extinguish our torch. There's other categories that use torch a bit more, but in this run, we'll only be seeing it a bit. And, Dadoja is just getting out of the sword tree. Cheese too, doing a little jump here, maybe. Yep, using that up slash. So there's a bit of movement involved with sword. You have the up slash, which gives you a bit extra height that we saw on Cheese side again. And then we have some torch hovers that we didn't see too much here, but that are really useful later on as well. And we'll have some torch jumps to link to double jump that we're about to go get right now.
Sword jumps. We don't have a torch anymore.
My bad.
But yeah, it works very similarly to the torch jumps we saw earlier. Just kind of spamming it in the direction you want to go. Lets you float in the air. Very useful for getting across gaps or just, getting a little bit more distance in the air. Dadoja is having some trouble there. Oh no, there we go.
Cheese went through that very nicely. Got all the little small tricks that using up slash to get higher up, and then using some sword floats to get through that little section. We actually skipped a little combat place that, well, everyone skips because it's pretty easy to skip, but you didn't necessarily notice. But here Cheese using all that he can with double jump and that sword jump to get up there with an up slash and a pogo to get as high as he can, getting that spirit light and then pushing forwards. Dadoja doing the same. They're really close to each other right now, actually, so it's a really close race.
Yeah, I think we're oh goodness, math on stream is not a good idea, but I will try. We are, I believe, 7 seconds apart on getting that double jump tree, with Cheese being those 7 seconds in the lead. Yeah, looks like he will be getting a little bit more headway here. Dadoja stopping to get some more Spirit Light. Spirit Light is something you need to keep an eye on, especially in this part of the run, since we do need the 400 for our sentry quite soon. So making sure you have enough there is just another economy runners have to look at. Oh, wow, that was beautiful. Cheese did that really nicely. He was practicing this before the race. Said he got it like once out of 6 usually, but that was amazing.
Yep. First try, very nice to see. And the Doja, ooh,
Oh,
that was
so
almost
close.
looking good. One difference that we didn't mention is that Cheese got sticky, which is a shard that makes you stick to walls. The Doja didn't. It's a safer strat for door skip, but it loses a bit of time. The Doja choosing not to get that, but Cheese choosing to get it and getting that door skip first try was a very wise choice, making sure he's consistent with it. Good for him. And now moving on, getting this other shard actually that is reckless will let us do a bit more damage
Oh.
as the Doja is succeeding with his door skip. Good job.
No!
No!
Oh
Oh, that's terrible. He didn't reset his up slash by going on the ground. Oh god, I never seen that. That is very unfortunate. Cheese got his regen tree, by the way, on his side, on the left side, but now he's just getting out of the marsh section. We'll be talking to an NPC before, but right now just getting out of here. As they're just still attempting his door skip. Very hard trick, a very reset heavy trick at the start of the run. But here our players can't reset, so they better get consistent at it for the tournaments.
Yeah, this trick is terrible. Like, the geometry in Ori is generally what you see is what you get. So these little tiny ledges that Dadoja is holding onto, there we go, wonderful, gets it this time, are actually really that tiny. You need to be really precise to hit those and actually refresh your double jumps and your sword slashes to get up there. So yeah, great job from both of them managing that.
But yeah, she's taking the lead here clearly. Already got to Ofer and got his sentry, so now we are seeing sentry jumps. So the like trick that gets you a bunch of height. It's the major trick in this run, I'd say. Letting you go through all the sections with a lot more height is completely overpowered, and we'll see how much faster you can go with that as through the run. And the Doja on their side getting the regen tree. So yeah, a bit behind. I think we'll have some info on that soon, but nothing too much to worry about. There is still a lot of time that can be saved later on, or can be lost by cheese. So no worries about it.
Yeah, this is definitely a long run. Mistakes, or, well, it's not really a mistake, just slight time sinks somewhere don't have to mean that your run is doomed. I think we've seen some runs be very far behind, actually catch up again due to very good mid or late game. Or, of course, the Shriek RNG can change things for some runners if you're very unlucky.
Yep, the famous Shriek RNG that is up for debate. But here Cheese having a bit of issues, didn't manage to get that full sentry jump, so had to do a bit of a maneuver to jump around there. Will have to equip bow if he wants to be shooting that. There you go.
There we go.
He got it. And getting through bow room. This is a pretty tedious room. It's not so bad in this category because you have a lot of skills and you'll be using sentry jump to maneuver around. But here, yeah, she's having a bit of issues. That energy just respawn.
Oh yeah, sentry jumps are frame rate dependent. I don't know if he's having drops in his frame rate. But yeah, those are not going as high as they could. So he's having a bit of trouble there.
It's very possible that he doesn't have a bind for them, so that he's just doing them manually, and you can just fail them like that. So that does happen. I know. I just saw him try to do an aerial one. He is trying to do everything he can here, uh, but the Dadoja is, I think, catching up. That's a bit of leeway for time for him. Cheese getting to this next section, which is hollow. We got another shard that was called Resilience earlier, and I believe that Cheese will be going for this trick called Dash Swim. Nope, he won't be going for it. Okay, never mind. I think the Dadoja will be going for it.
Yeah, I believe we've seen Dadoja in one of the qualifier races we restreamed. I think he did it there. We'll see in a moment. Cheese just choosing to lower the water and go that way will make getting back out easier as well. So, yeah, just going for a slightly slower but safer route here. If he's not comfortable with certain tricks, then just going for things you're good at or you can do is often better than trying to go for all the speed strats.
I mean, honestly, a wise choice. We saw yesterday that in the Licks versus Turkio matchup, Licks lost a bit of time to dash swim when Turkio just went through it casually, and it went fine. So yeah, maybe we'll see the same thing here. I think the Dadoja is going for dash swim, so we'll have to see if they actually gain time on that or not. Cheese is just doing it casually. Good getting, well, casually. He is getting out of here.
Most casually.
Mostly casually. But now he's lowered the water and will be heading down towards the tree of this section, which is dash. And that will speed up the game a lot more.
Yeah, definitely a very good skill if you want to speedrun anything, any sort of thing that makes you go fast, which dash certainly does, is a great addition there.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of tricks linked to dash. Cheese told us that he wasn't necessarily going for one of them. I think the Dadoja does attempt to do wave dashes, which are a super cool trick, pretty infamous in MQO. That game grants you a bunch of horizontal speed that we'll probably be seeing on the right side eventually. Ooh, the Dadoja getting hit there, unfortunately. But yes, going for dash swim. So regenning here, hitting the spikes to get some iframes, getting the save. All is good, and then heading back down, perfectly executed.
Oh, very nice.
We'll have to do that on the way back up though, which is the harder part of this trick. So we'll have to pay attention to that later on. Cheese got his dash. We'll be going back up here. We'll be grabbing a shard as well for his bow, because we are using bow combat in this run, which is a bit particular. It's really unique to this run to use bow combat, but it's a really efficient way of fighting, let's say. So definitely worth it to go grab these shards here.
Yeah, we'll be seeing the same thing from Dadoja once he gets out from his dash tree here. Oh, little squished Ori. We're fine. We don't get reset very far. And yeah, we have times for our dash tree now. So Cheese is still in the lead, but Dadoja has made that gap a little smaller by utilizing his swim that Cheese decided not to do. So shaving off a little bit of the time between them here.
Yeah, actually, very close in the end. Only like 30 seconds apart. So really nice to see. He does, of course, have to do the upswim that we'll be seeing just after he grabs this shard. But on Cheese's side, little cutscene to tell you that this is a spirit well / teleporter that we'll be seeing more of later on, because we'll be utilizing these teleporters throughout the run to go a bit faster. And the Dadoja getting that wave dash, so it's the trick I talked about earlier with dash that gives you a lot of speed. And she's on his side, skipping Hornbug. That was a bit tight. There's a mini boss there that we actually will be fighting later on. but most of the speedrun just skips it. So here we're passing over and getting the bash tree.
Dadoja having a little bit of trouble getting this save point. Did that? Nope, that didn't work either. This is tricky. You can't see anything. You just have to go by muscle memory, feel, and hope for the best. If your sentry jump doesn't quite do what you're wanting it to do to get up, then it's probably doomed. This is very, very tight. Doing this with just the 4 health, but ooh, there we go. Got it. Very nice.
Yeah,
Just has to lower the water again, go back down, and open the door, because we do have the ruling that not only do we have no Ori out of bounds, but we also have the general no out of bounds, so no projectiles either. There is a fun little trick you can do called bow drop to let your bow shot fall through the floor and open the door that way. Oops, taking a little fall. There we go. But then, yeah, being able to hit the eye there, and we'll open the door to the rest of Hollow.
And Cheese is got their second shard for bow. I think this one was Splinter, so getting all ready for the fighting later on. Yeah, we skipped Hornbug, which is a mini boss, because we got an extra shard here that will make the fighting a lot better, and we'll upgrade those later to make it even better. Got some cells as well. I think he got an extra health cell compared to the usual route, just probably to be safe, making sure that he has as much health and energy as he can get before the big bosses arrive. And now just continuing on, getting the first wisp by talking to Polak, and the Dadoja on their side will be getting 2 bash tree.
Nice.
Right now with a very nice wave dash. We'll have to see if those wave dashes manage to pull the Dadoja back in the lead, maybe, because Cheese is definitely not going for them, and here Cheese will be heading to the Glade section, where there's all the nice shopping that we'll have to see.
Yeah, just needs to go get his second shard as well, and then can head over to where Cheese is here as well, going into Glades. We'll see if he manages or even tries to go for a couple of quick cutscene skips here. They don't save a lot of time, but hey, every second counts. So, oh no, he tried. It did not quite work, unfortunately.
We having to hear Grom out here, sadly, unfortunate. The Doja getting their second shard. Ooh, going for the little wave dash here. That's kind of fancy. Oh, not enough energy. Unfortunate. That is weird. They had enough energy a second ago. Okay, that is the game. Perfect. This is fine. And Twillin on the left side. We will be buying Overcharge and upgrading the Splinter Shard. So now we shoot 5 arrows at a time, and we shoot them very quickly. And as well, we bought Overcharge, which means that we can spend twice less energy, which is super useful for the speedrun, given how much we have to use Sentry, which all cost energy, and will be very useful, especially for the Silent Woods section, where we definitely need all the energy we can get.
She's almost managing to save himself with a couple of nice aerial sentries. Not quite managing, unfortunately. Taking a dip into poison water. But yeah, the save system here is very lenient, so not much time lost there. And again, a sentry jump here to get over another small cutscene, and then he can go open the wheel and have some fun in Wellspring.
Fun in Wellspring, you say, of course. Not the favorite section of everybody, but here, ooh, playing it very well. Managed to destroy the heart there that was there. But at the same time, also go get this energy cell, so very nicely played. We'll be going back up. Grabbing also a bit of Spirit Light on the way here. You saw him grab one on the way out of Glades, but here he'll be grabbing even more. The Dadoja managed to get the Rum skip on their side, so that's very nice for him. He'll be gaining a bit of time over Cheese with that, and chopping at Twillin just as Cheese did while Cheese is in this unskippable cutscene at the start of Warframe.
Yeah, we get some lore. We get to see Naru and Gumo. Things you generally don't get to see in almost any other category. And not really. Unless you're playing casually, you're probably not going to see this anymore. So fun to see sometimes. Maybe not for our runners who have been doing a lot of these runs and probably seen this way too many times.
Well, I know I don't watch them anymore, but it's always nice to have some downtime in the middle there. The Dadoja going for a very sneaky wave dash there. Got it first try. Good job. It can be a bit tedious to get that.
Oh my!
Just the right amount of health. All is good. And entering Wellspring on their side as Cheese is sort of in the middle of Wellspring getting tree here. This tree gives you grapple, so now we can reach onto all those blue things that you see everywhere here. Will be pretty useful for Wellspring. Not mandatory skill, but very nice to have. Dadoja is gonna manage to do the same thing as Cheese here. Very nicely played as Cheese continues through Wellspring, opening the third door here.
Yes, Dadoja getting up to the wheel a little bit quicker than Cheese did. We'll have to see how much time he saved once he gets to Grapple Tree. Definitely looking quite good for him, despite the few close calls with health and having to heal in between. And yeah, now we get to see our first bit of combat here, really, with that wonderful upgraded bow. As you can see, Cheese can basically just stand in the middle and shoot. And things will die around him, because this bow does a lot of damage.
Of course, there's a bit of skill involved sometimes with bow. If you do need to know sort of where the enemies will spawn, position yourself in a nice spot. Dadoja struggling a bit with that aerial sentry on the right side, but doing good. Oh, Cheese, I think he got that. Skipping a little cutscene here by destroying the I don't know how you call that thing anymore.
Oh!
But didn't get it. Trying to get a save as he's destroying it and then QTMing. We'll see that maybe in the below part, which is a very useful skip that we use in a lot of places. But here, I messed it up, so decided not to go for it a second time, and we'll just be continuing with Wellspring casual.
It's great that he's going for all of these tricks and strats, just trying them out. If they don't work, oh well, there are backups. Just giving them a try. If it does work, then it's definitely going to save time. So yeah, why not?
And getting through this part successfully, not too many issues. That section can be a bit tight on time with the little cycles you saw with those lasers on the right side, but going through it very well as Dadoja on their side is gonna do this nice trick to avoid the pull there. Got a really good aerial jump too, and will be fighting their way out of Wellspring 2 as Cheese is getting up there and talking once again to a shop offer. We'll be getting fast travel, which gives you basically lets you teleport to all the teleporters you have unlocked anywhere you want. So it's very useful in this run, especially when we'll get to the sort of middle part of this run where we have to go from one section to the other very rapidly. It's always good to have the teleporters instead.
Trying to go for another cutscene skip here. Nope, didn't get it. If you manage to pause the game in the exact moment that Ori is grabbed, and then quit to menu, I think, not sure about that, he will...
You don't even need to quit to menu.
No? Okay, I'm not a runner, I'll refer to you then.
It's super funny that he's going for it that way. That's not the usual strat most people go for. It's like, it's frame perfect, so you have to literally press escape at the exact right time. Normally, most runners, I think we'll see the Dadoja going for it, do a sort of sentry jump in the air that then puts you back in the cutscene really rapidly and lets you skip it with a QTM. But yeah, that frame perfect variant is a faster variant, but it's just harder to get, I guess. Didn't get it, so we'll be watching this cutscene. Not too long, deciding not to waste any more time trying it, so just going for it and now starting the escape. But definitely leaving more and more leeway for the Dadoja to catch up as the Dadoja is getting to their final room too.
Yeah, Dadoja was 54 seconds behind when he got his grapple compared to Cheese. So there is still a little bit of buffer that Cheese has, but I'm sure he doesn't want that to shrink too much. So we'll see. Going for these strats will, of course, if you don't get them, waste a little bit of time, but getting them, of course, might gain you some. So it's always a kind of risk reward the runners have to assess and decide what they want to take there.
Oh, and Dadoja a bit low on energy. Deciding to QTM, so definitely going for that sentry jump strat. We'll have to see if he manages to get it and so save even more time compared to Cheese. And actually, if you look at the timers right now, I think they're getting towards even. The Dadoja QTMing here, I think that should be fine. When he comes back in, the escape should have started. He should be starting it right now. Perfect. And so he skipped, like, what, 30 seconds of cutscene, so very nice on his side as Cheese is watching another unskippable cutscene where the monkey
So
just talked to you.
soggy.
So soggy, as people love to point out. But now, just telling him to go to Quolock, but instead we'll be going down to pools. Okay, so Cheese is going for this route. Woo-hoo-hoo. Trying to get that little skip there. It's a bit tight, trying to get the cycle for there. Not getting it, instead just doing it nice and casually as Dadoja is getting to the end of his escape. Will be catching up to Cheese anytime now, I feel.
Definitely getting a bit closer. Ouch! And that will give Dadoja a little bit more time to catch up, taking a little face plant into one of the flies. They are very obnoxious, generally in the wrong place where you don't want them. And yeah, we definitely see Dadoja having caught up quite a bit in the whole Wellspring traversal, having that soggy cutscene just, ooh, math.
7.
7, yes, I can do math, I swear. 7 seconds after Cheese, so this is definitely getting closer.
Yep, definitely a very much tighter race now. I think we'll both be seeing them going to pools right now. So basically, right now we're just gonna go through pools to get the ability here and get the teleporter. Just because there's no easy way to get to pools later on, and since we're already in Wellspring, it's kind of nicer to go into pools straight away. But then we don't really want to do Quolog first, because there's other parts of the main quest we must complete before. So we'll be going back and then reaching Quolog later on in the run. But still gonna go through pools here first. It's a bit of a long section because you do need to swim through most of everything. But we have a lot of nice few skips like Cheese just did, where he just killed himself randomly and completed the puzzle, of course. And now, hopefully, did you say Cheese is on patch 2?
I think I did, yes.
Okay, well, the confirmation right there is that the door spawned. So basically, I don't know why. Nobody knows why, I'm pretty sure. But this door sometimes spawns, sometimes doesn't on patch 2. And right now, Cheese is getting unlucky because it is not despawning. And so he has to QTM over and over again until it will. It doesn't lose too much time because you're just QTMing a bunch. But it's just tedious and a bit annoying. But he's just going through it slowly as the Doja is catching up visually. Yeah, a nice thing for the Doja because he's on patch 3 is that he won't have any issues with this. He'll just be able to go through there first try. And another one. No,
Oh,
that
he's
is a bad decision.
deciding to do the fight room. Oh
No.
no. Getting fed up. I mean, understandable. He's done how many QTMs now? And it didn't fix his problem.
It happens, honestly.
Yeah.
It sometimes just takes like 10 for you to get through there. I think it's an interesting choice to do the fight room. I don't think it's faster, but if he's fed up with it and just wants to get through it, it's understandable.
Yeah, and there we see Dadoja just running through there. The door is open for him, courtesy of the current patch he is running here. So yeah, definitely taking the lead now with this very unlucky RNG on Cheese's side. And yeah,
Come
Cheese.
on.
Oh, there we go. His door is finally open. He can go through here as well. Yeah, very unfortunate time sink for him there.
That was terrible. Jesus. Yeah, honestly, literally just unfortunate. Can't do anything about it. We don't know how this thing functions. So if anyone wants to research it, feel free to. But apparently it's just game being game, as you do. But Cheese and Dadoja both getting their keystones here, getting towards their ability that they want to get here. Nice movement from Cheese here, using the sentry to get a little extra height, opening this door that the Dadoja has just opened, and now the Dadoja gets Water Dash, which is the well, you basically dash through the water now too, which will let them both get to the Kolok Arena. That they won't be completing now, but they'll get the teleporter that's just before it, and then go away and use this later on.
Yeah, getting a quick keystone here. Explain to me the exact differences between the two patches. I know most people, I believe, run on patch 2. But some people do have it decided to go to patch 3. So what exactly does that change?
There's a few minor differences, as we saw with the Pools Arena door thingy. That shouldn't technically save any time, but sometimes it's faster on patch 3 if you're really unlucky on patch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, patch 3 is mostly believed to be slower because every QTM is a lot slower. Most of the stuff you do is just slower because the timer works like that for some reason. And also, I mean, there's a bunch of better things on patch 3. I know ACF is run on patch 3 because you have launch swaps, which are really cool, and that hopefully we'll see the Dadoja doing, I think. The Dadoja. But apart from that, not too many differences. People just run patch 2 because it's what they're used to, I feel.
Yeah.
But Hornbug here happening while I was talking. Very quickly on the Dadoja. I think Cheese took a death, is what I saw.
Cheese took a death. He was contending with another wonderful mosquito. Having a bit of trouble here. Having a mantis in the arena as well. A little bit annoying, but yeah, did unfortunately get squished by Hornbug one time. So had to reset, but wasn't very far into the fight yet, so not much time lost there. And yeah, we do see both of them getting through and back to Kolok towards Silent Woods. Visually very close together. Dadoja, of course, a little bit ahead. If you do look at the timers, about a minute between them. So a little bit of a head start there for Dadoja.
Yeah, if you want to root for the person behind right now, you need to root for Cheese. And both of them watching the Moki cutscene, that is skippable in a way. I guess they both decide that they didn't need to learn that. It's not a huge time save, so fair enough. And Dadoja also watching this Shriek cutscene, that is also skippable, but very tight to skip.
Yeah, there are so many tricks and skips and things you could learn in this hour-long run. So choosing where to put your resources while you're learning it is definitely also a skill that can't really be underestimated. Deciding which skips will save you the most time and are actually worth the time and energy investment and brain capacity, I suppose, as well. Remembering all of them is probably not that easy either. So yeah, just deciding to not go for that one. Dadoja trying this one to skip this slow zone. Not quite getting it, just gonna run through.
And the Doja getting watching Q skip as well. Watching Q skip, watching the Q cutscene. I think Cheese will also be doing that. I don't believe they'll go for Q skip. Unless they're going for the 3-year-old method. I really hope they're not going for that. Okay, no, we're good. This is fine. So yeah, Q, oh no, we're gonna, well, we'll see later that it's a oh no moment. But right now we're
No,
just
this is
reuniting.
fine. It's wonderful. They're getting to hug. They found each other. Everything is good.
Mm-hmm. And we get to play the best section of the game. Everyone's so excited about it. Q section is a bit of a long, tedious one. It's, well, in speedrun especially, because you're just gliding around, can't dash, can't go fast, can't bash, can't do anything. So most runners find it long. But here we're just watching the cutscene. You can see that, yeah, they're a minute apart, but they're in the same cutscene. So maybe like a minute and a few seconds apart, which is really nice. Like a close race, honestly, which can totally flip around at any moment. And they're just starting their nice Q section, flapping that thing to get some air up, then being able to grab all these keystones. We'll have to do a little detour to get the last keystone. That's a bit of a pain to get. Oh, actually, will they be getting that last keystone? Because they can get 4 right now. I have to
4
see.
keystones, and they are heading over.
Okay.
They did get 1 extra keystone due to doing door skip all the way back in Marsh, and then getting all 4 keystones. Oops, cheese getting exploded. But yeah, getting all 4 keystones in pools will allow you to skip 1 here, which is, especially on Ku, a very big time sink.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that 4th keystone also enables a cutscene just after that is a bit long. So definitely a good idea to skip that one. And we'll be probably grabbing an extra keystone in depths later on. Not too sure how that routing works. But anyways, getting through here slowly on both sides because we are on coup. And here we're just, there might be a little skip we might see. Well, little skip. If you've seen, well, this platform falls apart and maybe the Doja can get to jump on the other side straight away. Hopefully we'll be seeing that.
Yep,
Perfect.
that looks good.
That's a little minor skip that's always nice to get. And we'll be just... Ooh! Oh yes, going for this. Okay, super cool. Jumping and gliding at the right moment there can let you glide through it, get a save, and then come back. There's actually a cutscene there that we might see on Cheese's side because it's a fairly newish skip, I feel. So Cheese might not know it. Oh, going for it as well. Okay, both succeeding. Very good. Both getting that. And now the Doja getting to the final section of here. We'll see a teleporter very quickly on the right side here that we'll use later on to come back to the end of the game. But right now we're just passing it and going into the second coup cutscene.
Yeah, just getting close enough to a teleporter will activate it. You don't actually have to save on it or anything, so it will be there for them to use with them just gliding over it for later usage. And now we come to feeding grounds, to technically... Oh, no, we don't. Never mind me. I forgot that we get teleported back. Of course. Yeah, so we have lost our coup.
No.
She has vanished. We will find her again. She's just taking a nap. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And at least we get to skip that cutscene, which is nice. I guess the developers didn't need to watch that necessarily. But now the dudes are just walking through. getting through here. We'll be skipping more cutscenes afterwards. We can see Sleepy Coo on the right side here, but just gonna be skipping the actually two cutscenes, and now teleporting to pools. Okay.
I believe Dadoja starts his mid game, the boss rush we basically do here, with Qualock. That is just his routing choice. It doesn't matter in which order you do these in.
And also God mode, of course.
Ah, yes, of course. He does God mode. That's also probably why he does Qualock first, since he's already here.
Yep.
There we go. God mode.
Acquired.
Acquired, indeed. And we'll teleport.
Wait. Yeah, actually died and had to... Died and respawns here, which is pretty funny.
Okay,
but still have God mode, no worries, but has to teleport back to the west side teleporter that we got earlier. But now God mode means don't take any damage. Oh, going for... Oh, did he... No, he didn't get the stack, so I have to jump back through, but he skipped a little Moki cutscene that happens before Quolock. But here, we'll be fighting Quolock with God mode, so not taking any damage. We'll probably be running into Quolock at the same time as he's fighting him. Cheese on his side is going to Bar's Reach, which is another section with a Wisp, an escape actually, and just has to go through this section. Will not be getting Grenade, which is the ability of this section, because we can skip most of the stuff with Sentry. But otherwise, yeah, it's going to be hard to compare now what they're doing, but in free Wisp, we'll be able to tell how close apart they are.
Yeah, just the routing divergence. Very nice from Dadoja, actually, behind Qualock. Oh, almost getting locked out. I didn't know that wall comes back. But yeah, God mode letting him run through kill planes without a problem.
Absurd.
Very useful.
You love to see it. God mode is always very funny to watch because it's just completely broken how invincibility unlocks everything. Well, lets you go through literally everything. She's using that sentry to bring down the snowball. Melting Quolock on the right side. Getting all those bow shots in. Now that Quolock spawned the water, it's a bit more tedious to get bow shots, so I think Dadoja will be fighting with sword, just mashing as much as he can while he's in Quolock. We can't even see him right now. Getting there, and boom, that is Quolock done with God mode. Very fast work of Quolock there. As Cheese on his side is going to this little arena in Bar's Reach, just before you can actually reach the escape. So we'll be having to fight his way here. Then he'll be getting to that wisp that he needs. On the Dadoja, we'll be having a pretty long cutscene, so not much to watch for now.
Did Cheese just stay in the air? Don't you drop when you do push shots?
There's a small moment where you can stay in the air, I guess. Maybe he used...
It felt very long, but I don't know. I have no clue about this run, so...
He's cheating!
He's cheating, definitely! Disqualify him. No, I'm sure that was all completely normal, and not his fault if it was some kind of glitch. This is the keystone he's going to be getting for later. That's pretty speedy, that's true.
Yeah, this is why they decide to do... I think Dadoja as well does reach before going to depths. A lot better to get this keystone than the other keystone that is in depths that is a really long one. So very good choice, very good routing choice here from both of them. And she's doing a lot of sentry jump here. You can see how powerful it is to just have a sentry here. It's a lot better than just wall jumping your way up or gliding your way up. And here I believe we'll be seeing a nice skip. If you pass above here, it's very tight. You can see Cheese deciding to go back at it because he needs the right amount of height. Not too high, not too low. And deciding to try it out again. Hopefully we'll be able to see it. He needs to basically pass above a cutscene, but if he goes too high, he'll be voided out and will be sent back to where he is currently. He doesn't want that to happen, of course, so right now he's trying to go at the right height, getting that aerial sentry jump too high. Nice. Okay, that's
that
good.
one looks good.
That is perfect. Just needs to let go of glide at the right moment. Perfect. Very well done. And now starting the escape. We'll have to be careful not to die here because he gets sent back to before the escape starts. So it would be unfortunate to have to do that again. Meanwhile, the Dadoja making their way into the start of Reach while Cheese is finishing it. They actually might be crossing paths soon, which is pretty funny.
Quite a high five, I think, but very close. Yeah, last little bit here. And Cheese is done with his first of the 3 wisps he needs to get.
And yep, not quite a high five, sadly. We'll be skipping this cutscene, hopefully. Perfect. And now going to block so that he can fight his way just like the Dadoja. Not going for God mode, so you can see the Dadoja is still going through all the spikes, everything. Everything is fine. It's a very safe strat to go for God mode, and honestly, once you do get it, it is faster because you're just passing through everything. But of course, getting it wastes quite a bit of time because you need to drown yourself. And it's also a bit harder to play with it because you're not allowed to bash or to QTM out. So there are a lot of like routing choices that you need to make. Here, good choice to go for Reach first because at the start of Depths, there's a cutscene, and so you'd have to QTM out. We'll have to see how the Dadoja decides to deal with that, if they decide to lose God mode, or if they would rather watch the cutscene. Yeah, just Cheese starting their Quolock while the Dadoja is starting their arena here. All is good.
Both on their second wisp, not quite comparable. That's the word I'm looking for, because they are doing different routes, different strats. But yeah, both on their second wisp at similar times.
Yeah.
Still with, well, timer-wise, Cheese being behind Dadoja. But yeah, we can't really compare that, seeing as they are doing very different things. And loads do be a thing. And there we go. Dadoja is also going for this keystone down here so that he doesn't have to do more terrible things in depths. And then can just glide up and go get his second wisp as well. Well, third wisp, I guess, technically. Second of the boss rush. I love seeing that these spinning things don't actually have collision except for damage. Very fun.
And big moment for Cheese here, trying not to die. Very tight right now. If he takes another, I think, 2 hits, he will be dying. But good RNG there, very nicely played. It's a lot tighter to do Quolock when you don't have God mode, of course. So yeah, Dadoja also going for the skip here, going a bit too high, but hopefully he looks very comfortable with aerial sentries. So I think we'll be seeing him succeed any time now. But now they might actually be sort of comparable. Cheese has to watch this cutscene, Dadoja has to do the escape. But right now they're both going to be on 2 wisps and will be heading towards Depths with the same amount of keystones in hand. So sort of going for the same route, and so we'll be able to compare once again. They seem to actually be fairly close.
Indeed. And we're getting a fun little stat here from our truck. The duration of the Quolock fight. Cheese was actually quite a bit faster, half a minute faster than Dadoja, despite Dadoja having that God mode, maybe due to the decision to use just sword in the second phase from Dadoja's side, which is a little bit slower than the 5 bow shots, just spamming them into poor Quolock's face. But other than that, yeah, a little bit of time save for Cheese there. Still stuck in this cutscene, almost over now, while Dadoja is already heading down towards depths again.
Yep, and now depths should be open. Well, it will be open once we watch this cutscene. So the Doja will be watching it, I believe. Yes, we'll be watching it, keeping God mode so that they don't have to go get it back after QTM. So Chi actually might be saving a bit of time here because he can just QTM that cutscene and go straight into depths. So that might be able to, that might let him catch up a little bit. Of course, he'll have to be careful in depths. There's a lot of ways you can die in depths, and it's a hard section. So Dojo having God mode here will help a lot, and will probably make depths a bit speedier.
Yeah, this actually syncing them up again very nicely. One watching that cutscene, there we see Cheese already through, thanks to another QTM. So saving a little bit more time there.
Oh, nice. The Dojo catching up visually to Cheese here with that nice region dash. It's nice we're seeing them both in the same section, and we can see the comparison between God mode and no God mode. Here, Cheese has to be very careful with the darkness that surrounds him, using bow to reset that light, as the Dojo is just letting it happen, letting him get consumed by the darkness. But also, the Dojo doesn't need to, can't QTM that little cutscene at the door, so she's gaining a tiny bit of time there, and will maybe be saving a bit more if he manages to execute well enough. The Dojo doing some really nice region dashes to get through this section, and we'll be getting to the end of it about now.
Oh, yeah, there we see Cheese taking a very small death to the darkness, just not quite making it to the light of the firefly blob thing. And yeah, we've seen Dadoja being completely engulfed in darkness quite a few times by now, and not taking or not dying, just not seeing where he is, but knowing this area as well as he does, that's not really a problem. Can just navigate to the next little ball of light and get vision of Ori back. And now we're both coming to see a very friendly spider. Arachnophobes, maybe look away for a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's fine.
We'll
She's friendly.
Sort of. Well, she'll be less friendly to Cheese than she will to the Dojo.
That's true.
It'll almost look like she's trying to hug the Dojo, but right now, yeah, the Dojo just boom, getting all that damage in. Does it matter if he's getting attacked? Nope, not really. He just needs to be as close as he can to get as many bow shots as he can in there. Getting more energy on the left here. But we're gonna try and look more at what Cheese is doing, because they will be struggling with the damage that is being taken, and they have a way higher chance of dying here. So have to be careful with everything that they're doing. This is why we decide to do more or less. It is a hard boss, especially with bow. It's hard to stay on the ground and keep attacking her. Here, getting the bash attack, trying to throw her back very close on health. And
there
okay,
we go.
Good.
Gonna take a death to reset this? No,
nope.
It's not. Maybe not aware that dying here would reset the little spiders that Mora just called. I know he's mostly using quote-unquote old strats. As we mentioned before, he is a very old runner. And yeah, just uses a lot of strats that not necessarily the things that have been newly discovered. I don't know.
But actually, he just killed himself after, which also works.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
So all good. Actually, not a bad choice. The Dojo finished their fight was pretty easy, especially this last section where there's darkness everywhere. So it's pretty hard for Cheese to get through this. Of course, bow resets your light, so it's really nice to just be able to shoot, but always have to be careful, especially in those moments where Mora walks around. But very nicely played. Lost a bit of time compared to the Doja, of course, but did not take any major deaths. And now the Doja getting to this section, feeding around skip, executed perfectly. This skips stuff not too important, not too relevant for us. It mostly skips just a little cutscene in, and especially the cat and mouse section in this run. But in other runs, it also just skips the necessity to do all the main quest. So it's a really nice skip, a really huge skip. And Cheese got
my
it.
goodness, he got it. Was very, very close.
This is fine. And
This is totally fine.
now the waste section, which is the place filled with sand, where we be getting the burrow ability. And yeah, going through this whole section because there's a wisp at the very end of it, so we need to go through all of this to get our final wisp.
Dadoja, of course, still with God mode, can jump into all the tasty spikes without a problem. This is a very friendly Ori. Can hug all the things with no problem. While Cheese does have to be a little bit more careful. Ow!
It's
Ow!
a funny one.
Okay, I think he died to the spikes above him. I did not see him jump.
Yep.
But, sure game.
Yeah, he takes a lot of damage here with overcharge especially, so has to be careful of every spike. We'll see if he decides to take off overcharge afterwards. But yeah, the spikes in the last few sections are there you go, takes off overcharge, deal a lot of damage, so need to be careful for Cheese here, as the Doja does not need to be careful because they're just walking through it, and we'll be opening this door without grabbing any keystones because we grabbed some earlier in depths, and continuing through this sort of casual play of the waste section.
Yep, and yeah, we're getting note from our truck again. We do have a minute and 21 seconds between our runners at Burrow Tree, so despite looking pretty close here, unfortunately Cheese does have quite a bit of time to make up if he wants to get through this and get into bracket stage 2.
Yeah, we're seeing how useful God mode can be, even though there is a small time loss. It's very comfortable to play the rest of this game with God mode. Cheese deciding not to get in, going for maybe the riskier strat, or maybe he's just less aware of it. But anyways, paying off on the Doja side as he managed to catch up to Cheese and even is getting more and more time ahead. So it's nice to start Willow if you have a bit more time ahead and feel more confident. Cheese will maybe have to be playing his very best at Willow to try and catch up, or maybe we'll get an unfortunate death in the next escape. We'll have to see. There's a bunch of stuff that can still happen. Shriek is still here. There's a bunch of stuff that can turn the tides.
Cheese? Yeah, realizing he does not have enough health for getting through the... Oh, no, he does! He unequipped all the things that do multiply the damage he takes. So, is able to get through there. Sentry jump's not quite working for him. Very nice backup strat there. And we'll be entering Ruins as well.
Yep, Ruins, which is the lore part. We're going to be looking at a bunch of walls. Skipping some of them. We saw the Doja skip one of them. Maybe going to be trying to skip another after. It's a lot of like slow walk as well. It's kind of a tedious section. We're getting a sync right now on Cheese's side. He did not just black screen, do not worry. We're just syncing it up on the timers so that we're a bit closer in the end game right now.
Yeah, so we will see another half a minute of black screen for him.
Very nice on Dadoja's side. Managed to get that wave dash, get a save on the left side, which lets him skip this last lower wall. So very nicely played. We'll be destroying this thing. Maybe going for the shoot and then run away to get that save once again. You see the strat of just getting a save, QTMing while something else is happening, and then when you come back, that thing is already finished. So right now, boom, skip the cutscene of that big wall falling, and now he'll be starting the escape as Cheese will be hopefully starting again soon and starting ruins on his side.
And now we can see the time differential between them a little bit better. We see Dadoja in this cutscene here, so at the end of ruins, basically, while Cheese is just entering. So one whole ruins, basically, between them.
One whole ruins.
One whole ruins. I guess only half a ruins because you still have to do the escape. I don't know. Maybe
like
using
timing,
ruins as a measurement was not the best idea.
Yeah, just starting it off here. Cheese did have to watch that first tablet wall because he didn't manage to get the sentry jump. All is good though. We'll be pulling the lever there, skipping that one, and then continuing down into ruins, getting those nice bash glides to get into there like a bit faster instead of slow walking there. But on the right side, we see the Dadoja. Whoa! We see the Dadoja starting the ruins escape. Hopefully not dying. It's pretty easy to die on here. If they do die, it'll let time for Cheese to catch up. And I think we had a small issue on Cheese's side. The sync unsynced. So yep, we're back to where we were before. No huge worries. This is fine.
Yeah, just restream stuff doing restream things, things we don't necessarily anticipate. We'll see if we want to resync it again or just leave it as is.
I think it's fine to leave it as
Yeah,
is as
I
well.
mean-
They're only like what 50 seconds apart on those timers. Do keep that in mind, of course, but they're still very close, I'd say. We'll have to see with track at the end of the actual escape here, but the Dadoja is getting there. Boom! That was the end of that. While Cheese is still making his way through, burrowing down, trying to use grapple, everything he can get to get through here. Very nicely executed. Going for that jump pad, more burrow. Very nice execution, honestly. Trying to go out of here as soon as he can to follow the tail of the worm, and then once again using more burrow, more grapples to get up there. This is also a reason why grapple is a very nice movement weapon in the late game. And getting to the end of it too, while the Dadoja on their side watching the cutscene. I don't know if Cheese will watch it too. There is a skip you can do to avoid it, but it means that you also don't get an extra health and energy. So we'll have to see what Cheese decides to do. But now the Dadoja teleporting away and going to the final section, which is Willow.
Yeah, definitely reaching our complete end game here. Cheese also walking forwards, not taking the waiting strat, just standing still for a very long time, but being able to teleport out quicker. And looks like, yeah, we'll be watching this cutscene here as well. That is just, it's a lot safer. Every bit of health and energy you have is a little bit more damage, a little bit more, damage you can take and dish out. So definitely good to have. Oof, that Gorlick does a lot of damage with those shards equipped. Yeah, taking a little safety heal there should be fine.
Yeah, this is a semi-auto-scroller section. You can't do much about like just waiting. So you may as well regen in the middle as well. We have information from the tracker that there was a minute and 39 difference at the end of Ruins Escape. So in favor of the Dadoja, of course. So a bit of time to catch up for Cheese, but definitely not a huge time either. So the Dadoja will have to keep up with his good gameplay to make sure that he stays in the lead.
Yeah, definitely. Not having that god mode anymore does mean that he can take unfortunate deaths or other time sinks that the god mode would save him from. So I don't know. We have seen runners go back once before, like finishing. Once they've finished Willow, they will go back and get god mode again for the Shriek fight. I don't know if Dadoja does that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but we shall see. There we go. Launch tree. Final tree we will be seeing here, unless you count Willow. But that's not really a skill tree, so I guess not. Ow. Big lasers in the face. Not fun.
The Dadoja just passing through there perfectly. Yeah, it's nice here that he doesn't have God mode anymore because he can QTM this cutscene here, which is the start of Willow cutscene that we'll be seeing Cheese get to anytime now too. They're just behind each other visually, so that's very nice to watch. She's also gonna have to get through these lasers, getting up here first, of course. Boom. And there you go, perfect. As Dadoja is starting with the right side heart, we'll have to see if he tries to go for the heart skips, the cutscene skips that is at almost every heart. Here, accidentally doing a bit too much damage. Props of the bow shards. There you go, managing to pass under that rock. And now, ooh, he will be going for it. I think he got it. So she's on their side doing the other heart, by the way. Different orders of hearts. This is fine. But yeah, they're on the same amount of hearts right now. The Dadoja managed to get that cutscene skip. So as always, dashing away as you shoot bow and getting a save as the thing is destroyed so that you can completely skip the cutscene that comes after. You saw the cutscene on Cheese's side there. It's like a 8-second cutscene. So throughout Willow, you can save like what 40 seconds with that. It really comes in handy, and we'll let the Dadoja save a bit more time compared to Cheese.
Jeez. Oh, yeah, those explodey guys do hurt. Taking one hit too many. Let's see. We'll get this first try. Going for a slightly different setup there. Looks like it's working very well. And yeah, Dadoja, just due to those cutscene skips, a little bit faster here.
But of course, as always, it is a risk reward thing. If the Dadoja doesn't manage to get them and instead wastes time on them, he might lose some time over Cheese, actually, who is just going for it straight away, destroying the hearts as fast as he can, getting Quidditch there, first try on the Dadoja's side. Basically just bashing the thing around as you see Cheese doing it too, first try as well, very nicely played on both sides. They're both on the same heart, Dadoja skipping that cutscene, and Cheese watching it. Very nice, kind of synced right now, even though they are almost 2 minutes apart on the timers, and that time will probably keep increasing because Dadoja is QTMing more than Cheese will.
Yeah, but making all of this Willow traversal look so easy, despite the fact that it can be a little difficult sometimes.
And she's actually executing that heart a bit better than the Dadoja did. And the Dadoja dashing in the wrong direction. Unfortunate. We'll also be watching this cutscene. Cheese continuing his way through Willow. That is the 4th heart that he's done. Now heading towards the 5th. There are 8 total, so we'll be trying to get all of those with a mini boss in the middle that we'll see soon enough. But right now, heading towards the upper heart, which is a very cycle-based heart. What you try and do is try and either skip the cycles or try and do them as fast as possible. I see Cheese is mostly trying to just do them as fast as he can here. Boom, getting that nice cycle on the last one, and that is 5th part done. The Doja getting the same, oof, very tight, but got it. Good job. Going again for this hard skip. As you can see, he has to have a little setup here, so sometimes not saving all the time he'd like to save, but still a bit saving time over cheese, I believe.
That looks pretty good on both sides. Dadoja not quite getting that really satisfying fall all the way through, weaving through the spikes. But still getting through there very quickly, also making his way to this mini-boss that Cheese has already almost gotten down. The bow shots, again, just doing ridiculous amounts of damage, so yeah, mini-boss melt.
Yep, completely. Well, you really see the power of bow here. You'll see it again on the final boss shriek. But yeah, this is a perfect example of just standing on the ground and shooting all you can shoot. Cheese getting over it a bit sooner visually than the Doja. There is still a difference to remember. Oh, having some issues with the with the cycle of the lasers here. They can be a bit annoying. But getting through there. 7
Ooh.
hearts. Ooh,
Okay. Wow.
this is fun.
This is fine. Yeah.
Got through it. The Dadoja will be doing the same thing right now. Except this heart isn't skippable. Oof. Little death on. Oof, don't go for that again. Good reaction. The cycle just repeats itself, so good job. Cheese deciding to go through this and deciding to heal while he's at it. For the last little section here, we'll be gliding
just
using
missing
launch. Yeah.
cycle there, but that's fine. Oh no, don't! Oh my goodness, that last little watching that cut. Oh shoot! But watching the ruins cutscene at the end, getting that last health and energy has saved him so far. He has been on 1 energy a couple of times, one health a couple of times. So definitely good call from him there.
Same on the Doja side, that is also on 1 health right now. So very tight. We'll be trying to get through this wheel in 1 cycle. Oof, unfortunate. Dying.
Too much cheese.
Too much cheese, and cheese on his side. Getting to the final boss, which is Shriek. We'll be watching him fight her first, I think, unless we get a resync. But I think we'll be seeing him watch her first. There's a bit too much of time to resync. It's gonna be
Yeah,
too
no.
tedious to do that.
Why is Cheese not getting his resets there? Oh, there we go.
He's getting it. And boom, start of Shriek. We'll be shooting as many arrows as you do. First phase is fairly simple, mostly the same cycles all the time, trying to get as many hits in there. You can see him launching up to get closer to Shriek, maybe jumping in the middle of some of those shots to get as much damage as he can. Ooh, going right next to that wall, getting real close and personal with it, and then dashing as the escape section starts, trying to run away. The Dadoja, same thing, started their fight on their side and having all the right shards equipped on Cheese's side. Yeah, just normal casual Shriek. Cheese getting through there. He's really low on health. You'll have to be careful, especially on that last part. I hope he doesn't take any damage in here. Yikes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, this section is mean, just giving you damage sometimes. I think if you burrow too far up, yeah, that's very unfortunate. Oh, more damage here. Let's hope he gets through this time.
Being pushed
Ooh,
back
that was close.
And the Dadoja making it just before Cheese. Starting that 3rd phase. This is the RNG heavy phase, but the Dadoja has a lot of time to spare, so he should be fine. Cheese also starting it here, deciding to equip Overcharge to heal here probably, and also to get more shots in, as the Dadoja is dealing as much damage as he can to Shriek in every phase. Here, getting some not so great RNG on both sides, honestly. Getting similar RNG that is.
Shriek, yeah.
The
Cream is
Dadoja,
always good. That's unfortunately not the best one for Cheese.
Oh my god. Wow. They have the
Same one for Dadoja. Wow. Okay. I
Okay.
think there has been talk of sinking the RNG here. Never really like to actually do it, but it definitely looks like they're doing it here.
She's getting that really unfortunate attack of Shriek being in the background, and once again attack, getting a lot of attacks here. So just unfortunate, but also execution wise, maybe not getting all the damage he can. Deciding to equip Reckless again. As a Doja on their final phase, just gonna be hitting Shrieks of
Oh no!
Cheese. Cheese
That
restarting.
resets him to the beginning of the third phase. You can see her health bar at the top is very big again. It was so small before, but yeah, unfortunately dying before that phase was over. Oh no!
Dadoja as well, dying on that final hit. Was just about to kill Shriek, but ran into her head, and so Cheese once again doing that phase, and the Dojo once again also doing their phase. We will get to the end of this Shriek fight. It is very hard to get those bow shots in without dying. You can see both our runners struggling with that clearly.
Ah, there we go.
It's not
Cheese
an
now
easy
in the
fight.
final phase, also taking the time to heal up here. Dadoja did that as well when he respawned. And oh, one too little.
Not quite getting her there, but
go.
there we go. That will be time on the Doja's side, as Cheese on their side, almost getting there as well, will be having their time soon enough. We'll see if he manages to do this in one cycle. Getting those bow shots in, very nicely played.
Ooh,
Okay,
very good.
perfect. And time on Cheese's side too. Now, GG's to both our runners. That was a honestly great race to watch. Obviously, 2 minutes difference here uh, due to loadless, and still a close race though. Visually, it was very pleasing.
No, definitely. Timers doing us a solid in that case, having yeah, more at least visually a closer race than it perhaps was. It was still very close. There were definitely many possibilities for both runners to mess up and let the other one take the lead. But yeah, in the end, Dadoja managing to pull out the win here. Will be moving on to the next bracket stage.
Let me check. Oh yes, the next bracket stage, that is gonna be a fearsome one. We'll have to talk about that just after when we get. I think we might get the runners to come.
I believe Cheese has mentioned they can't stay for an interview. I think it is pretty late for them by now. Time zones do be a thing.
Yeah, and honestly, it's great that they still found a time slot for this, so very happy about that.
Definitely. But yeah, we'll have to see if Dadoja does. Of course. Time-wise, I believe, I don't know, is still, at least in the race time, has not pressed done yet.
Yeah.
So might need a quick moment. Then maybe we can talk about who for Dadoja is going up against next. That is being Scarfelt. So our number one seed with a very, very quick time for this run. Definitely a very, very scary opponent for him
matchup. Big matchup. That is gonna be very scary. Scarfelt just also getting just insanely good times in the qualifiers, being ahead of even the second seed by almost a minute and a half. So just a very rough opponent. It's gonna be hard for the Dojo. We'll have to ask them how they feel about that. But yeah. I guess we could also talk about the next matches coming up.
Yes, indeed, we can. We have another one today, tomorrow, whatever time zone you're in. At oh goodness, don't let me lie. UTC.
I think it's
What is that? 8 p.m. UTC.
uh-huh.
That will be Mava versus Dalori, so seed 7 against seed 10. And then tomorrow at 7 p.m. UTC, we will be having you Bobbies racing against Turtle Run.
Woohoo. You love to see it. Oh wow. Okay, and I think we'll be dragging Dadoja in right now. Hello, Dadoja. GG on that race.
Yeah, GG's.
I think Cheese won't be joining us for an interview, but we'll get to interview the winner of this on what you did today. Honestly, very impressive race. Everything seemed to go pretty well for you. God mode definitely managed to keep you being nice and steady on the mid game, and then the end game was also fairly good. I had some issues with Shriek, however, very unfortunate. Were you ahead of your PB before that?
Yeah, I was ahead by a minute, but in my PB I use God mod for the Shriek fight, and
Mm-hmm.
my Shriek fight is incredibly fast. Like I on this split, even though I died once, right? I lost over 90 seconds on the Shriek split.
Oh, painful. Yeah, Shriek is evil.
Yeah,
Yep.
and can be, especially the RNG there was rough, and that last that was really unfortunate too.
That was
Uh,
still better RNG than last time I was on stream. I think I lost over 2 minutes just on RNG.
yeah, that could also happen. But still managed to pull through with the win. And next time, we were talking about this just before, you'll be facing Scarfeld. Do you have any opinions on that?
Well, yeah, that's gonna be pretty difficult, right? But the thing is, my next week is already packed, right? Like I have finals exams, I have a convention that I want to go to
Whoa.
on the
Ooh.
weekend. So
Okay.
like, it's gonna be really hard to even schedule it. So I hope the race comes through because I want to keep racing, right? But it's gonna be hard.
I mean, I'll be excited to come and watch that uh, no matter what, and it'll be a great matchup, I'm sure. Um, do we have any other questions, Apple?
Let me think. Gosh, this is such a long run. It's hard to
Yeah,
remember like the
totally.
beginning
Oh,
parts of it.
I have some questions actually. At the start, Cheese managed to pull through with a first try door skip, and you had some issues with door skips at the start. Really unfortunate miss on. I can't. I think that was that second try. It was really unfortunate.
Mhm.
Do you plan on trying to get more consistent at that, maybe for future runs? Do you have any
I
idea
think that was literally like my worst door skip in like months. Like
Mhm.
I usually get it second try, maybe third try, but not like I think this was sixth try. And yeah, that's just yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, unfortunate for sure. But it made for a cool matchup because you managed to pull back with God mode later on, helping you throughout the wisps and catching up with Cheese, and then finalizing the run ahead. But it was a really cool. It was really cool to have you pull back through the mid game. It was great.
Hmm.
And I think that's all for me. Um, we'll be probably leaving you here. A quick reminder, yeah, race tonight, 8 p.m. UTC, and tomorrow, 7 p.m. UTC. Be there to watch some more MQO gameplay. There are going to be some fun races, good to watch. And I'll shout out quickly everyone that was here helping. It was 2Kill on the restream, Mave with the truck, Dadoja and Cheese running, of course, for you guys, and me and Apple helping out with commentary. It was fun. Thank you all for watching, and have a great one. See you soon.
Yeah, quick reminder. We do still need volunteers for 2 nights. matchup. If anyone has
True.
time and wants to help out in any capacity, that would be amazing. Thank you.